There's a feeling that's hard to explain unless you've lived with it. You walk into a room, nothing is wrong, people are friendly, conversations are normal, and yet something feels slightly off. Not dramatically wrong, just misaligned. Like everyone else naturally fits into the moment and you are standing half a step outside of it. You participate, you respond, you smile when expected, but internally there's distance. And the strange part is this: you often can't explain why. Because your life might be fine, you might have friends, you might function well socially, yet the feeling keeps returning. Different places, different people, same sensation. If you've ever wondered why that happens, stay with me, because this isn't random, and it isn't a personality flaw. There's a psychological pattern behind it, one that most people never learn to recognize. Here's what we're going to explore today. We'll talk about where the feeling of being out of place actually begins, why it follows you into new environments, why trying harder socially often makes it worse, and the hidden advantage inside this experience. And somewhere during this video, you may realize something surprising. The problem was never that you didn't belong everywhere. It's that your brain learned to move through the world differently.
As you watch, notice your reactions. If at any point you think, that explains something I've felt for years, keep going, because the deeper explanation comes later.
People who feel out of place often don't look uncomfortable from the outside. They can talk easily, they understand humor, they know how conversations work, but internally their experience is different. They tend to observe more than they express. They notice small shifts in tone, subtle reactions, unspoken tension. While others are simply participating, their mind is also analyzing, and that creates a quiet separation. Not loneliness exactly, more like psychological distance. After social interactions, they often feel mentally tired, even when the interaction went well. And this confusion begins early, because people around them assume everything is normal, so they start assuming the feeling must be personal.
Most explanations people receive are simple. You're shy. You just need confidence. You should socialize more. But those explanations rarely fit. Many people who feel out of place are not socially incapable. In fact, they often understand people deeply. The real difference isn't social ability, it's processing depth. Their brain doesn't just register interaction, it interprets it. Every conversation carries layers: what was said, how it was said, what might have been meant underneath. And when your brain processes multiple layers at once, interaction stops feeling automatic. It becomes deliberate, and deliberation slows belonging.
But this pattern usually didn't start in adulthood. It started much earlier, often without you realizing it.
The human brain learns safety through experience, especially emotional safety. If early environments were unpredictable, emotionally or socially, the brain adapts quickly. Maybe expressing emotions led to misunderstanding. Maybe vulnerability felt ignored. Maybe authenticity created friction instead of connection. The brain learns a rule: observe before revealing yourself. At first, this is protective. Observation prevents discomfort. But over time, the habit becomes automatic. You enter new situations already scanning, reading reactions, measuring emotional risk. Not consciously, your nervous system simply learned caution.
Here's something rarely discussed. Self-awareness changes how social experiences feel. When you're highly aware of your own thoughts, behavior stops being automatic. You start monitoring yourself while interacting. You notice your tone, your timing, your expressions, and that creates a split experience. One part of you is living the moment. Another part is evaluating it. That internal observation increases control, but reduces ease. And belonging often depends on ease more than skill.
Many people who feel out of place live psychologically as observers. Even when participating, they feel slightly removed. Imagine watching a movie while also analyzing how it was filmed. You understand more, but immersion decreases. That's what happens socially. Insight increases, but spontaneity decreases. And over time, this becomes your normal state.
Now here's where things get interesting, because this experience isn't just psychological, it's neurological. Your brain constantly predicts outcomes, especially social ones. If past experiences suggested misunderstanding or rejection was possible, your brain increases monitoring. Monitoring creates caution. Caution reduces automatic expression. Your nervous system believes it's protecting you, and technically it is. But protection carries a cost: distance.
Many people think changing environments will solve the feeling. A new job, new friends, a new city. And sometimes it helps, briefly. But the pattern often returns because the brain carries learned expectations forward. Even safe environments feel uncertain until repeated experiences prove otherwise. Belonging for you isn't instant. It builds slowly.
Constant awareness consumes energy. You're not tired of people. You're tired of processing, reading emotional signals, filtering responses, predicting reactions. Your brain is running multiple processes simultaneously, and most people around you aren't aware that this is happening, which makes the exhaustion harder to explain.
But here's the unexpected part. The same mechanism creating distance is also creating depth. Observation develops powerful abilities. People who often feel out of place tend to develop strong pattern recognition, deep empathy, independent thinking, emotional insight. Because watching carefully teaches understanding. You begin seeing motivations behind behavior. You notice inconsistencies others miss. You recognize emotional patterns earlier. And over time, this creates psychological intelligence. Belonging isn't about fitting everywhere. It's about nervous system safety. When the environment feels emotionally safe, something changes. You don't suddenly become a different person. You become relaxed. Expression becomes natural instead of calculated. Conversation flows without internal monitoring. And people are often surprised because the quiet observer becomes thoughtful, expressive, even humorous. The silence was never emptiness. It was caution waiting for safety.
Trying to force yourself to be more outgoing rarely works. It creates exhaustion and disconnection. The real shift is understanding context, choosing environments aligned with how you naturally think, places where pauses aren't awkward, where depth is normal, where conversation isn't performance. When alignment appears, belonging stops feeling like effort.
If this video helped you understand something you felt but couldn't explain before, take a moment to sit with that realization. Sometimes clarity doesn't change who we are. It just removes unnecessary doubt. And if you want more conversations like this, you're welcome to stay here.